God oversaw the first marriage between his image bearers by presenting Eve to Adam and blessing them as a couple. Want to see the first wedding? We just had a wedding here yesterday. Watch the first wedding right here. Chapter 2, same chapter. Go to Genesis 2:21. Except before this wedding, there was actually a surgery. So we got the first surgery in history and we got the first wedding. Kind of weird how those went together. 2:21. So there cannot be found a good helper for Adam. Adam is built. He can't propagate himself. Where are the humans going to come from if there's only Adam? Whoops. Maybe God screwed up. Nope. Verse 21, watch what happens. So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, Adam, and while he slept, he took one of his ribs, and the Hebrew doesn't really necessitate that it was ribs, it just means he took from his side. It's literally like he cut a chunk of flesh out of him. And it says he closed it up. God is the first surgeon. He takes a chunk out of Adam, closes it back up, and look what he does. Verse 22, and the rib that the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman and brought her to the man. And the man said, this is at last bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. You want to know something crazy? The English woman, you want to know why man is right inside of woman? Is because it keeps the same designation of the Hebrew, which is man is ish. And right here Adam says, she shall be called isha, which is the feminine form of the masculine. Isn't that amazing? Our woman and man keep that same designation. Woman is basically the feminine form of man. Even to this day when you say I'm a woman, it's the feminine form of the masculine of the English language. This is crazy. Watch this. Everybody, reconnect. Adam in a way gives birth to his wife through God. Adam goes to sleep. God goes, watch this. Takes a chunk of Adam out of Adam's own DNA. You want to talk about getting married to the person that's close to you? Try your own DNA. God could have built Eve out of the dirt. Could have raised up everything. But you know what? He did something so special here. He creates Eve out of Adam so that Adam has headship in his home. He never has to have the argument with his wife. I was made out of the dirt too. I was made just like you, because Adam goes, hey, I was here first. And I still got the stitches to prove where you came from. God builds Eve out of Adam, out of his own DNA, out of his own flesh. He presents the most ideal woman ever built to Adam. So now you've got naked ideal Adam, and you've got naked ideal Eve with no sin in a perfect environment, and all the animals are like, awesome. No animals are eating each other. They don't have to fight off a lion. It's this perfect, peaceful world. Beautiful. And the first wedding happens. It says that God presents Eve to Adam. In the same way that a father presents his daughter to the man. And every time I've done a wedding, we have the father walk the bride down the aisle. And it's the same picture of Genesis 2. Every wedding, in some respect, represents the first wedding, where a father brings his bride to the new man of the house, and he does his last kiss of his daughter, and he's out of the picture. Every time I say, now you've just done your last kiss, Daddy, go sit down. You just got to pay the bill. Now you're done. You've done your job. And you know who takes over? She stands next to her husband. She now becomes part of that new home. She takes his last name. They become a new home together. They're not part of dad. They're not part of mom. Now they do their own thing together. And they become one flesh. So not only will they have intercourse together, and if God blesses them with children, great, but in this first encounter of their sexual union, they become one flesh together. So they're emotionally together. They're financially together. They're physically together. They're relationally together. That's ideally how we're built. That's why when you fight with your wife and fight with your husband, it's like the most dysfunctional relationship ever, right? It's just fighting. Like, why do I fight with you? I don't fight with my coworkers this way. It's because your relationship with your spouse is the deepest relationship you can have, because it goes beyond the physical. It's actually spiritual. So when you fight, you're actually fighting in some sort of spiritual dysfunction. How we doing? Yeah. Everybody's like, I can't believe what I just heard. It's like prophecy. It's like, was he in my home last night? What happened?